Om Namah Shivaya, friends! Welcome to my very first Sadhguru reaction video here on this channel. Today I'm gonna watch, yes, Daivas are real. Sadhguru explains the truth. Kantara the Legend, Chapter 1. By the YouTube channel Mystical Exploration and the Mystic World. I picked this video because I just watched Kantara the Legend, Chapter 1. It was absolutely fantastic, and the full-length watch-along is available for my Patreons, but now also for YouTube members, together with Narsimha. It is thanks to my Patreons and YouTube members that I'm able to do YouTube. So please consider supporting, and I'm looking forward to this video. I celebrated the movie so much, and I hope you too. Let me know how much you loved it. Please leave a like for Kantara, for Rishabh Shetty, who did a phenomenal performance, who did a phenomenal job as a director, and of course for Sadhguru. And subscribe if you aren't.
These things were very significantly relevant when deities were created in a certain way. When I say deities were created in a certain way, so all this has become one big hodgepodge. It's become one big hodgepodge because the culture was created understanding the phenomenal complexity of life. But the instruments and the institutions which were to transmit this from generation to generation got seriously disturbed in the last 1800 years because of invasions and things like that. Otherwise, this is a very sophisticated science.
Beautiful.
Not everybody went to every temple at one time. There were some temples which were for general well-being where everybody went. But for specific purposes, people went only to their Kula Daiva. Even today, remnants of that are there, people are going, but the Daiva may not be created anymore, understanding the science. So why the Kula Daivam is, today, even if somebody died 100 years ago, they can dig up something, and if they found one tiny little bone, they can take it, go to the laboratory, check the DNA, check your DNA and say, this was your grandfather. Even if somebody died 10,000 years ago, if they find a remnant of something, today you can take the mummies in Egypt, which are over 4,000 years old, you can take the DNA of this mummy and trace it down to somebody in Egypt who is right now protesting on the street.
Wow.
Possible, yes?
Wow.
The science gives you this access. So similarly, we identified, you must understand this is relevant only when everything else was maintained. You know, there's a whole lot of struggle going on in Haryana about the Kap panchayats saying that these cousin brothers and cousin sisters should not marry, this is sacrilege. I do not know whether they're aware of why they're protesting. But if they're truly aware, you have to respect it. They may be just protesting because you're breaking the norm. But essentially why this was done is, they maintained the genetic track way back. For thousands of years, they maintained the genetic track in their own way, never mixing it up, never doing anything which will disturb the track, so that the progeny comes out well.
Interesting.
And not only that, you can create a certain energy which travels through the track. Everybody in your kula need not go to the temple. You go and pray, everybody benefits because all of us is connected. Right now, this will happen. The future of medical science is this, that if they find some pure genetic material, when we say a pure line of genetics, they can do it like this, that they can find something that works for your DNA, just spray it in the air. All the people who have that type of DNA will benefit instantly. Right now they're saying Asians have this kind of DNA and they are more prone to diabetes. Americans have this kind of DNA, they are prone to something else. Aren't they saying this? So if you just add one supplement into the Asian diet or into the American diet or into the European diet, you can change the way people live. This has happened. These things have happened in United States, that they have added certain… this thing to as a part of their bread making and everything. Lot of ailments that they were suffering in 40s and 50s are gone in that country because people have that kind of DNA and they're being treated in a certain way unknowingly. The current generation do not even know about it, but it's a part of their bread making, they're taking in certain things and certain things are settled. So, they understood this and they maintained this genetic line so strictly and they established an energy source for this
Okay.
particular DNA, for this particular kind of genetic trend. And when they go there, they're not telling some god up there, they're just registering, this is me, I belong to this line, this is my gotra, this is my nakshatra, this is my kula. Means I'm registering my DNA material, I'm saying this is my DNA, do something to me. It is the most scientific way of handling it. Science
I'm
gone
not sure if I
bad,
understand.
technology not transferred properly. Today it's all mixed up, so it will not work the same way. If they had maintained those genetic lines, you could make it work like that.
Now, you do not approach a deity in terms of, I want to access this, I want to access that. There are certain type of people who do that. That's not the way to go. The simple thing is, if the deity is properly consecrated, when I say properly, each one of them is consecrated normally for a specific purpose. Now we have a dhyana linga. It is for meditativeness. You don't cry there, go there and cry, dhyana linga, my financial situation not working out, please. That guy just sits like this. Because he doesn't know what is financial situation, he doesn't care. Because he doesn't eat, he doesn't do anything. What does financial situation mean to him? Then you go to Devi, there you can cry. Because she needs these things, she understands that part. Like this, different things are made for different purposes. If you enter the temple, the deity knows who you are. Who you are means not your name, your father's name, we don't care. Even I am not asked what's your father's name. So, this aspect of the deity able to recognize you has been done in many ways. This is done in a very refined, sophisticated way so that it recognizes anybody based on how their energy situations are, where the status of life is right now, what level of evolution, how it is, in that sense. But there are other deities which is very common in southern India, which is probably these days lost in north, is we have Kula Devatas
Wow.
or Kula Daivams.
So beautiful.
That means a particular deity created for a particular kula. Kula means a smaller segment of a caste. So here the genetic map of this kula is kept and the deity is consecrated to serve only that type of genetics. This is why this fight in the villages, any inter-kula marriage or inter-caste marriage means why they're struggling is, then you won't have a god of your own, you will become outcast. But essentially it is coming from this fundamental understanding because you have created an energy form which takes care of this particular genetic information.
Okay.
If somebody who doesn't belong to that comes, it won't respond. So these things were done in a very scientific way for different purposes. There are many fantastic processes even today, but mostly lost. So it is better to create universal things which are not based on genetics, but based on the evolution of one's energy. That is what we are doing. That is why these new temples, which will not recognize you by genetics, it will not recognize you by your parentage, but will recognize you for what you are right now. So, both these things were done right from ancient times, but most of the temples were done for genetic material because that is what people would fund. They want a specific temple in their town for their clan, for their well-being. They created those things. A few were created for everybody's well-being, so they were always named differently to make you understand a little bit. Here, let us say there is one Mariamman temple, it will have a prefix name of a particular kula and then that. But let's say some other temple like let's say Kashi Vishwanath, it's Vishwanath. That means he's for the entire world. He is not recognizing you by your genetics. He is recognizing you by who you are right now in terms of your energy, in terms of your evolution, where you are right now. In that context, Dhyana Linga will not recognize your genetics, he doesn't care whether you came from your mother's womb or dropped from heaven, we don't care. Because we don't think
Coming out of your mother's womb and dropping from heaven, one is superior to the other. It doesn't matter how you came. How are you right now? That's all that matters.
Nice.
So, this is a different dimension of
Exactly.
consecration. So when we talk about deities and about you enhancing your perception, you don't go there to enhance your perception. There is a process, what to do. You just do that process. Oh, so it is iffy, is it? It is not iffy, it depends on where you are. Accordingly, it'll enhance you. If you get enhanced for what you are not ready, you will go crazy, believe me. You will lose your mind. If you saw the things that I saw when I was very young,
Oh.
I'm telling you, you would have lost your mind, many of you. Because I saw all kinds of things and sat there like this. And even people around me thought I have some psychiatric issue because I sat seeing all kinds of impossible things. So if you develop a perception to see something which your mental framework and your energy framework is not ready for,
yeah.
you will be shattered. So you never go seeking a particular level of perception. You just go do the process. The deity is been created in such a way, it is of a higher intelligence than you. You allow it to work with you. You just do your sadhana as it is prescribed. This is the excess, this is the code. Just make use of it, and how much excess you find, let's see, depends on who you are.
Namaskaram to everyone. Have you seen the movie Kantara?
Yes.
Those who have not seen it should watch it because it's a good movie.
Yes,
So in the
fantastic.
movie Kantara, the dance of Bhoota Kola is shown, in which the Daiva or a divine form comes into the human body and communicates with people. This practice is mainly widespread in South India. If we look at it, this practice has been in place throughout India for a long time, but it is more common in the east, west and south of India. Kula Devata is different in every state, although the practice of each state is different. But it's always common that the Daiva or a divine form to come into the human body. Many people think that this Daiva coming into the human body is a superstition, but it is not so. There is also science behind this divine form coming into the human body, and we will see that science in this video. Before that, understand what is Kula Devata. Daiva. Daiva is a divine spirit or energy representing natural forces or ancestral protectors. Kula Devi or Kula Devata. The ancestral guardians of energy of a family or a clan believed to protect generations. These are not idols, they are energetic beings invoked through rituals, sounds, dance, and trance. The science behind this concept is very complex. But to put it in a very simple and basic terms, imagine if you are listening the speech of someone. You like the speech, and when someone claps first after the speech, you and the rest crowd clapped after him. This is because there are mirror neurons in our brain. They copy the emotions and actions we see around us. Similarly, when Bhoota Kola rituals are performed, there are hundreds of people present. At that time, drums are playing on the same rhythm. Fire is glowing. Chants are echoing. Everyone's heartbeats slowly start singing with the rhythm. At the one point, the performers' minds enter a deep trance, and the crowd feels that energy too. Their brain waves, emotions, and focus all start vibrating together, like a symphony of instruments playing in perfect harmony. In modern science, this is called a limbic resonance, when many human nervous systems begin to share the same emotional frequency. Our ancestors call this movement when the Daiva enters the body, but scientifically, it's a powerful collective consciousness field where the vibrations, belief, and emotions merge so strongly that it feels like the divine has truly appeared. Now you may be wondering, at that moment when the performer goes into the trance where the Daiva or Kula Devata enter his body, if the crowd is there at that time and the brain waves, emotions of everyone are tuned the same, then why doesn't the Daiva enter the body of any
Many.
of the crowd? Why does it enter only the body of main performer? So consider this as a game of frequency and receptivity. Let's take a radio as an example. Imagine you have placed 1000 radios in a room, but you have corrected the frequency of only one radio. Then that radio will immediately receive a signal, and then you will hear the sound from that one radio, and the other 999 radios will remain off as well because they are not set on the right frequency. Similarly, the Daiva performer has prepared his mind and body through the fasting, rituals, breath control, and devotions, all of which tune his nervous system to a very high resonance. The crowd, on the other hand, feels the vibration, but they are not fully tuned. They are like radios that catch the echo, not the full transmission. So the performer acts as an antenna that receives the entire divine frequency. While this process is happening, the audience indirectly experiences goosebumps, tears, and peace. This is the reason why the performer can become a Daiva and everyone else can only absorb that energy. And it's not that the Daiva will not touch anyone from the crowd or enter their body in the future. A person who masters in fasting, breath control, rituals, and devotions, in future, the Daiva can also enter that person's body. But as I have already said, this process is very complex. The things that are shown in the Kantara movie, it's not a fiction, it's our forgotten science. When man loses connection with his roots, nature sends him reminders through the storms, loss, or divine forces. Whether you call it a Daiva energy or a quantum consciousness, the truth remains the same. Everything is connected.
Yeah. What a wonderful video. Thank you so much. Now, I totally believe that. Just imagine. Yeah, you have to be ready. Like, they have to have someone that, is attuned, like an antenna, to receive, right? We might think we would love to experience it, but simply witnessing, and I actually have never really witnessed anybody in the state, because in the movie I do assume it was just acting. However, that alone was so incredibly powerful. I was in a trance at the end of the movie. I was like, whoa, I don't know what to say. This was incredible. So witnessing acting is already intense. Probably witnessing a real trance, Daiva, is even on another level. And then actually being the Daiva, I can't even imagine. Like the energy that the human body has to contain. Yeah, you have to be prepared for that, for sure. Now, at the beginning, Sadhguru was speaking. It was very hard to follow for some reason. So if you would like to help me out and explain it a little bit, truly recommend watching Kantara, A Legend, Chapter 1. I will also watch the first Kantara movie again, because at that time I did not understand. But this was, it was just, whoa. It was one of the best movies, really. It was just... It had everything. Let's hope they're doing many more movies like that, including the divine, representing them in a really beautiful and truly powerful way that, we as an audience can even connect. Anyways, enough praise for the movie. I shall let you go here. Thanks so much for watching this with me, and I look forward to your comments. Har Har Mahadev.